The rain drizzled over the grand iron gates of the Alden estate, streaking the black metal with glistening trails. Victor Alden, one of the wealthiest men in the city, stood outside wearing a faded jacket, scuffed boots, and a cap pulled low to shadow his face. To the world, he was unrecognizable. Not the billionaire head of Alden Industries, but just another tired old man guarding the gate. Inside the mansion, preparations buzzed for an engagement party. Victor's only son, Julian, was marrying Elena Morel, a woman whose charm and elegance had captured Julian's heart in months. But Victor wasn't so sure. He'd seen too many fortunes devoured by insincere smiles. If she loves Julian for who he is, she'll treat everyone kindly, no matter their status. Victor whispered to himself, gripping the gate keys with trembling hands. This disguise was his own idea, a dangerous game of truth and trust. That afternoon, Elena arrived at the gate in a sleek car, her heels clicking against the wet pavement. "You there," she said curtly, not recognizing Victor under his shabby clothes. "Open the gate quickly. I'm late." Victor shuffled forward, playing the part of a frail gatekeeper. "Of course, miss," he said softly, fumbling with the keys. His hands, purposely dirted, shook as he worked. Rain plastered his gray hair to his forehead. "Hurry up," Elena snapped, glancing at her diamond-studded watch. "Do you even know how to do your job?" Victor looked up, meeting her eyes briefly. "I'm sorry. I'm new here," he murmured. "Clearly," Elena muttered under her breath, slipping past him without another glance once the gate opened. Victor's chest tightened, not just from her words, but from what they revealed. If she treated a stranger with such coldness, what did that say about her love for Julian? Still, he forced himself to continue the test. Maybe it was just a bad day. Maybe there was more to her. 2 days later, Victor stayed at the gate again, watching how visitors treated him. Most guests ignored him entirely, sweeping into the estate without a word. By evening, the rain had turned into a biting wind. Victor, unprepared, shivered in his thin coat. As the last car pulled up, Victor recognized Elena again. She was alone this time, hair loose, eyes shadowed with fatigue. She stepped out of the car, heels crunching on the gravel, and this time her tone was different, sharper, almost angry. "Why are you standing there like that?" she asked as Victor slowly approached. "Just waiting to open the gate, miss," he replied. "Do it faster," she said, wrapping her coat tightly around herself. Then, after a moment, she added, "Honestly, don't they train you people at all?" Victor said nothing, but his heart sank. He'd hoped for warmth or at least indifference, not contempt. Yet, as Elena walked back to her car, something unexpected happened. Her heel caught on the gravel, twisting painfully. She gasped, stumbling, and Victor rushed forward instinctively. "Careful," he said, steadying her with surprising strength for a man of his supposed age. "Thanks," Elena muttered, brushing herself off quickly. "I'm fine." But Victor noticed something flicker in her expression, pride masking embarrassment, maybe even gratitude she didn't want to admit. As she drove away, Victor leaned against the cold gatepost, troubled. Is this really the woman Julian wants to marry? He wondered. Does she have any kindness in her heart at all? He decided the test wasn't over. He needed to see her reaction when faced with more than inconvenience, when someone truly needed help. A week later, Victor arranged for a delivery truck to break down outside the gate, blocking Elena's car just as she arrived for another visit. Dressed in his gatekeeper disguise, Victor pretended to struggle with moving heavy boxes from the truck bed, coughing into his sleeve, his posture weak. Elena honked impatiently, lowering her window. "What's going on now?" she demanded. "Sorry, miss," Victor wheezed. "The truck stalled. I just need to move these crates so you can pass through." Elena got out of her car, visibly frustrated. "This is ridiculous. Can't you call someone to do this?" "No phone, miss," Victor lied, bending to lift a box deliberately too heavy for his frame. He staggered, nearly dropping it. Something changed in Elena's face. Her annoyance faltered as she saw the old man struggling. For a moment, she stood frozen. Then, with a sharp exhale, she kicked off her heels, walked over, and grabbed the opposite end of the crate. "Here," she muttered. "You'll hurt yourself." Victor blinked, surprised. "Thank you, miss. I didn't think." "Save your breath," Elena said, hauling the box to the side with surprising strength. "Just tell me where to put this." Together they moved 3 crates, her coat sleeve getting dirty in the process. When it was done, Victor straightened slowly, feigning exhaustion. I appreciate this," he said quietly. "Most people wouldn't help." Elena wiped her hands on her skirt, clearly uncomfortable. "Yeah, well, you looked like you were about to collapse. Don't make me regret it." As she walked back to her car, Victor noticed something new in her expression. Not just pride, but a trace of humanity she'd tried to hide. Maybe she wasn't simply cold. Maybe she was guarded, unwilling to show softness to strangers. The night of the engagement dinner arrived. Guests in glittering gowns filled the Alden estate. Victor had cleaned up, wearing his finest suit again, but no one except his staff knew about his secret test. Elena glided into the hall on Julian's arm, radiant and poised. Victor studied her carefully from across the room. Would she treat him differently now that she saw him not as a poor gatekeeper, but as a billionaire? When she approached to greet him, her eyes widened in recognition. "It's you," she whispered. Victor smiled faintly. "Yes, it's me." Her face flushed with embarrassment. You were testing me?" "I had to know if you cared for Julian, or just his wealth," Victor said gently. "But more than that, I needed to know if you had kindness in your heart." Elena's gaze dropped. "I wasn't very nice at first," she admitted quietly. "I judged you. I'm sorry." Victor nodded. "But you helped when you didn't have to, even when it was hard. That told me more than words ever could." Elena looked up, eyes glistening. "I love Julian. Not for this house, not for your money, for him. But I've spent my whole life protecting myself. I didn't want anyone to see weakness." Victor's throat tightened. He saw not arrogance, but fear. The same fear he'd carried after losing his wife, the fear of being hurt again. "Thank you for helping me," he said softly, his voice breaking. "You reminded me of something I forgot. People are more than first impressions." Later that night, as Julian and Elena announced their engagement officially, Victor stood beside them with quiet pride. His tears weren't for sadness. They were for the lesson he'd learned. Because kindness doesn't always shout. Sometimes it hides beneath walls, waiting for the right moment to shine.